Hello and welcome back to Knack Kitchen, where today we are making stained glass cookies. Now, stained glass cookies are essentially sugar cookies but with hard candy which is set in the middle. It looks amazing, it tastes amazing, and it also can be used as a Christmas tree decoration if you want. And to top it off, they are super easy to make. So without further ado and without making you wait any longer, let's just see how we make these beautiful cookies. So for our dry ingredients, we have some plain flour in a bowl. To that, we're going to add some corn flour, and along with that, we'll also add some baking powder. That's all the dry ingredients that we need. We're just going to mix this all together, ensuring that there are no lumps in the dry ingredients, and then we're going to switch over to the wet ingredients, and I'm going to start with some soft butter in a bowl, and to that I'm going to add some sugar which I've just powdered in a grinder, and we're going to mix this all together and beat it for about 2 to 3 minutes until we have a light and fluffy mixture. So now that our mixture is lighter in color, we are going to go ahead and add some vanilla extract and 1 egg, and then we're just going to beat this together until well combined. So now we're ready to add our dry ingredients, and I first like to add only about 3/4 of the dry ingredients and not the whole amount. And I'm first going to mix this with a spatula before I switch over to my hand mixer. So now we're going to add the remaining dry ingredients, and we're just going to bring this all together into a dough with the help of our hands. Now if your mixture is a little too wet or too sticky and you're not able to bring it together into a dough, then you can add a little more flour. Like you can see over here, the mixture was a little too sticky for me, so I'm adding a little more flour. I have put the adjusted amount in the recipe, so that should work for you, but if you still find your dough to be sticky, then by all means add a little more flour. So as you can see over here, the dough is no longer sticking to my hands, and that's when it's ready. So now we're just going to roll the cookie dough out between 2 sheets of parchment paper until we reach the desired thickness. I mentioned this in my previous video and I'm going to say this again. The thickness will depend on your preference. It can range from anywhere between 1/4 of an inch to about 1/2 an inch. And now we're just going to let this cookie dough sit in the refrigerator for some time before we cut out the shapes. So you should let it rest for at least 30 minutes. Now for the cookie cutters, I like to use a star shape both for the main shape of the cookie and the cutout, but you can go with whatever shapes you like. Now if you don't have cookie cutters, don't be disheartened. You can use a glass or a bowl or whatever thing you have at home. You just need a cutout in the middle, and the stained glass effect is what's going to make this cookie amazing. Now if you're wondering what we'll do with the cutouts and the scraps, we're just going to bring this all together into a dough, re-roll them and get more cookies. I'm going to place these cookies in the refrigerator for half an hour before we bake them, and here I've laid them out on a silicone mat, and that's because the hard candy might have a tendency to stick to parchment paper when you bake it, so a silicone mat is definitely preferable in this case. Here I'm using about 2 hard candies per cookie. You don't need to crush them or anything. The hard candies will melt and spread perfectly when they bake. If they don't reach the edges, you can always use a skewer or a toothpick to coax it to the edges, and that will do the trick just as well. So right after baking, the hard candy is still going to be liquid in the center. We need to let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then as you can see, the cookies are ready, the hard candy is set, and we are done. So here you have it, my recipe for stained glass cookies that are so amazing. They taste so delicious. It's a surprise to me just how little people know about this, but they are so easy, so effective. You should definitely give it a try this holiday season. Now here you can see that I used 2 hard candies of different colors, and it gave a beautiful dual tone effect They are completely clear, just like stained glass, and absolutely amazing. I'm sorry I don't have any word for it. It's just so stunning. You just have to give it a try. Now, if you like this video, then please do drop a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. And I'm gonna be back tomorrow with yet another cookie video.